Throughout history, humanity has grappled with the profound connection between the physical and the spiritual. What we consume nourishes our bodies, but does it also shape our souls? This question lies at the heart of the age-old debate surrounding meat consumption and its impact on spiritual growth and well-being. Across diverse cultures and religions, we find a spectrum of beliefs from strict vegetarianism to acceptance of meat as a natural part of life. This essay explores this complex relationship, examining the ethical, spiritual, and practical considerations that continue to shape this important conversation. Central to many Eastern spiritual traditions is the concept of Ahimsa, often translated as non-violence or harmlessness. This principle is not just a passive state of being, but an active stance against causing harm in any form. Ahimsa, a cornerstone of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, extends beyond physical actions to encompass thoughts, words, and intentions. It encourages individuals to cultivate a mindset of compassion and empathy, ensuring that their inner world aligns with their outer actions. In these traditions, harming any living being, including animals, is seen as creating negative karma and hindering spiritual progress. The belief is that every action has a ripple effect, influencing not just the individual but the broader universe. The practice of vegetarianism or veganism, therefore, becomes a natural extension of Ahimsa, a way to minimize harm and cultivate compassion for all beings. By choosing plant-based diets, followers aim to reduce suffering and promote a more harmonious existence. For followers of these paths, abstaining from meat is not merely a dietary choice, but an integral part of their spiritual practice. It is a daily reaffirmation of their commitment to non-violence, a tangible way to live out their values and contribute to a more peaceful world. The concept of karma, deeply rooted in Eastern philosophies, adds another layer to the discourse on meat consumption and spirituality. Karma, often understood as the law of cause and effect, suggests that our actions, both positive and negative, create ripples that ultimately return to us. In this context, the killing and consumption of animals are seen by some as generating negative karma, potentially leading to suffering in this life or the next. While interpretations of karma vary, the underlying principle emphasizes taking responsibility for the consequences of our choices, including dietary ones. Beyond karmic implications, many spiritual seekers believe that a plant-based diet fosters compassion and empathy. By choosing not to consume meat, individuals may develop a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all living beings. This heightened sense of empathy can extend beyond animals to encompass a greater compassion for all beings, promoting a more peaceful and harmonious existence. The act of nourishing oneself with plant-based foods can be seen as an act of love and respect for all life, aligning with the principles of compassion and non-violence. Energy vibrations, food, and the subtle body. Some spiritual traditions propose that food carries specific energy vibrations that impact our own subtle energy bodies. Meat, particularly from animals raised in factory farm conditions, is often believed to hold lower, denser vibrations that can weigh down spiritual energy. Conversely, plant-based foods, especially those grown organically and with love, are thought to vibrate at a higher frequency, promoting clarity, lightness, and spiritual well-being. While scientific evidence supporting this theory is limited, many individuals report experiencing a heightened sense of energy and well-being after adopting a plant-based diet. Meat consumption in global spiritual traditions. It's important to acknowledge that perspectives on meat consumption vary widely across different spiritual traditions. These perspectives are deeply rooted in the cultural, ethical, and spiritual beliefs of each community. While some religions, such as Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, advocate for vegetarianism or veganism, others, including Christianity and Islam, generally permit meat consumption. In Hinduism, the principle of Ahimsa, or nonviolence, leads many to adopt a vegetarian lifestyle. Similarly, Buddhism emphasizes compassion for all living beings, encouraging a plant-based diet. In these traditions, meat may be seen as a source of nourishment provided by a divine creator, often consumed with gratitude and respect for the animal. Christianity and Islam, on the other hand, have specific guidelines for meat consumption. For instance, Islam prescribes halal practices, ensuring the animal is treated humanely and slaughtered with a prayer. In Christianity, while there are no strict dietary laws, Many observe periods of fasting or abstain from meat during certain religious observances, such as Lent. The act of consuming meat is often accompanied by prayers of thanks, reflecting a sense of gratitude and reverence. Some indigenous cultures also have sacred hunting traditions that emphasize a deep connection with nature and the animals they consume. These practices are not merely about sustenance, but are deeply spiritual acts. Honoring the animal spirit through rituals and prayers, these communities express their respect and gratitude, acknowledging the life that was taken to sustain their own. This holistic approach to meat consumption highlights the diverse ways in which spiritual traditions around the world integrate their beliefs with their dietary practices. The case for mindful meat consumption. Even within traditions that permit meat consumption, there is a growing movement towards mindful and ethical consumption. This approach emphasizes reducing meat intake, choosing humanely raised and slaughtered animals, and expressing gratitude for the sacrifice of life. By being mindful of the origin of our food and the impact of our choices, we can cultivate a deeper connection to the natural world and a greater sense of responsibility for our actions. This mindful approach to meat consumption seeks to bridge the gap between enjoying animal products and honoring the sanctity of life. The environmental impact of meat consumption is increasingly difficult to ignore. Animal agriculture is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, and water pollution. Reducing meat consumption, therefore, becomes not only a personal health choice but also an act of environmental stewardship. By choosing plant-based meals more often, we can lessen our ecological footprint and contribute to a more sustainable future for all beings. This interconnectedness between personal health, animal welfare, and environmental sustainability is becoming increasingly apparent in modern spiritual discussions. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to consume meat is a deeply personal one, influenced by a complex interplay of ethical, spiritual, cultural, and personal beliefs. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and what resonates with one person may not resonate with another. The key lies in approaching this topic with an open mind, a willingness to learn from different perspectives, and a commitment to making choices that align with our values and support our own unique spiritual journeys. As you navigate the intersection of food and spirituality, it's essential to listen to your inner wisdom and intuition. Experiment with different dietary approaches, explore various spiritual teachings, and pay attention to how different foods make you feel both physically and emotionally. Engage in practices that cultivate compassion, gratitude, and mindfulness, regardless of your dietary choices. Remember that spiritual growth is a journey, not a destination, and there will be moments of clarity and moments of questioning along the way. The relationship between meat consumption and spiritual growth is a multifaceted and evolving one. It is a subject that has been pondered by sages, philosophers, and everyday individuals alike. The choices we make about our diet are not just about nutrition, they are deeply intertwined with our spiritual beliefs and practices. From the ancient principles of Ahimsa and karma to modern concerns about animal welfare and environmental sustainability, the choices we make about what we eat have far-reaching implications. Ahimsa, the principle of nonviolence, encourages us to consider the impact of our actions on all living beings. Karma reminds us that our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. In today's world, these ancient teachings resonate with modern issues such as factory farming, climate change, and the ethical treatment of animals. By approaching this topic with an open heart and a discerning mind, we can each find our own path to spiritual nourishment, one that aligns with our values and supports our journey toward greater compassion, awareness, and inner peace. This journey is personal and unique for everyone. Some may find that a plant-based diet brings them closer to their spiritual goals, while others may seek a balanced approach that includes mindful consumption of animal products. The key is to remain open and reflective, constantly evaluating how our choices align with our spiritual aspirations. As we continue to explore this complex terrain, may we do so with respect for all beings and a deep reverence for the interconnectedness of all life. Let us remember that our dietary choices are just one aspect of a broader spiritual journey. By fostering a sense of unity with nature and all living creatures, we can cultivate a more compassionate and harmonious world. Whether through meditation, prayer, or mindful eating, let us strive to live in a way that honors the sacredness of all life.